Okay, let me turn to another top story tonight. The journalistic fraternity is up in arms against an FIR that was filed against a reporter of the newspaper The Tribune for exposing alleged loopholes in the Aadhaar system. Today, protests were held in different parts of Punjab demanding the withdrawal of the case against the journalist. But there is a larger question which this story has raised. Is the Narendra Modi government not willing to stand up to greater public scrutiny of its ambitious flagship Aadhaar scheme? Is instead the messenger being shot? Take a look at tonight's special report.
Media unity! Zindabad! Punjab Press Club! Zindabad! Central Government! Zindabad!
Journalists on the warpath. Outrage over a case filed against a Chandigarh journalist who exposed how easy it is to buy private Aadhaar data. UIDAI, the Aadhaar body, lodged an FIR against Tribune reporter Rachna Khaira for exposing loopholes in the system. UIDAI said the journalist had used fraudulent means and breached privacy. A day later, protests broke out in Chandigarh and Jalandhar. Anger spread as journalists expressed solidarity with the Tribune reporter.
We at no point in the story have said that biometric data was hacked. But I would even regarding that like to point out that biometric data was definitely accessed. That is how we were able to verify at an unauthorized location by an unauthorized person.
Joining the agitation, Rachna Khaira says that as a journalist, she had every right to reveal any wrongdoings.
मेरी जो लड़ाई है मैं ये बताना चाहती हूँ कि मेरी जो लड़ाई है वो आधार प्रोजेक्ट या गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया उनके अगेंस्ट या UIDAI के अगेंस्ट नहीं है. ये लड़ाई उन ऑफिशियल्स के अगेंस्ट है जिनकी नेग्लिजेंस के कारण हमारे एक नेशनल सिक्योरिटी बीच और एक नेशनल सिक्योरिटी जो कंसर्न है वो रेज हुआ.
The Tribune showed that for a mere 500 rupees, one could access anyone's Aadhaar details in less than 10 minutes. Instead of cracking down on the loopholes, the Aadhaar body booked the journalist. Media rights bodies termed it as an attack on the freedom of press. In a statement, the Editors Guild called the FIR an attempt to browbeat a journalist whose investigation on the matter was of great public interest. The media body also demanded that the centre intervene and have the cases against the reporter withdrawn immediately.
The journalist exposes how easy, just by paying 500 rupees or little more, you could get all the details of a person. Now, rather than charge the journalist with forgery and cheating and everything else, the agency concerned, which is the UIDAI, should have straight away gone and booked the people that were doing the racket and also conducted a full investigation. This is in effect what they're doing by booking the journalist is shooting the messenger.
The Broadcasting Editors Association released a statement saying that shooting the messenger wasn't a solution.
The Broadcast Editors Association, moments before now, has put out a statement demanding that the FIR against the journalist from Tribune be withdrawn immediately. The BA has called this an attempt to try and muzzle free speech and an attempt to shoot the messenger.
But no assurance was forthcoming from the government. In fact, Law Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad appeared to defend the FIR lodged by the UIDAI. Prasad said the government was committed to freedom of press. At the same time, he said the Tribune reporter should help the police in nabbing the offenders.
An FIR against a Tribune journalist for exposing an alleged vulnerability of Aadhaar data has the entire journalistic fraternity up in arms. From protests across press clubs to an unequivocal condemnation by the Editors Guild, we have seen it all. Something that has forced the Indian government to explain its position, saying that it stands for the freedom of expression and the FIR is not against any certain individual. Reporting from New Delhi with Ravikant Totawar, I'm Anindo Banerjee for India Today.
Let's raise the big questions then. Is the government simply unwilling to allow Aadhaar, its ambitious national identity scheme, to be subject to greater public scrutiny? In the studios, Raj Chengappa, Group Editorial Director at India Today. I'm also joined by Narendra Thaneja, spokesperson of the BJP, and Ajoy Kumar, spokesperson of the Congress. I want to come to you, Narendra Thaneja, first. It appears that your government seems unwilling to allow journalists to investigate and question Aadhaar. The moment the journalist in this particular case has brought out a potential data leak that can take place, my demographic data could be made available in the public domain. What does the government do? Files an FIR which is wide enough to include the journalists also. Do you concede that this is a classic case of shooting the messenger?
Rajdeep, first of all, you see freedom, press freedom, liberty, these things are sacrosanct to the BJP. And this has been said repeatedly, and today the minister also, law minister also,
So you say
repeated
it, but the reality is different.
At the same time, FIR is against
in the past,
unknown.
your government has filed sedition cases against journalists who have questioned you. Now you are filing an FIR. It's very nice to say that you are committed to freedom of the press and then file an FIR against the journalist who exposes Aadhaar.
Is factually incorrect, Rajdeep, because the FIR is not against any individual. The FIR is against unknown. Just just read it very carefully. It's not against the journalist. There is a way the investigation has to go about, and which means that all those people involved, they need to be mentioned in the FIR. It does not necessarily mean unless and until, of course, investigation identifies that person X or person Y is held responsible. Unless and until then, it's nothing. It's just an exercise. And to say, basically, to interpret the whole thing as a government attack against the freedom of press, I think that's not really fair. Here a newspaper has talked about something. There are a number of people involved, and the authority, Aadhaar authority, has gone and filed an FIR. And even there, they've repeatedly said, look, we are not targeting freedom of press. We are not targeting any individual journalist. Even they are saying that. But if some people want to basically interpret the whole thing or basically convert the whole thing into kind of government attack on the freedom of press and all that is very, very unfair.
Let me bring in Raj Chengappa. Since he's the head of the Editors Guild now, which has taken out a very strong statement calling this in a way an attempt being made to shoot the messenger. You heard what the BJP spokesperson, Mr. Chengappa, is saying. He's saying that the FIR is against unknown persons. We do not intend to target the journalist who may have exposed potential data leaks.
Rajdeep, firstly, we are thankful to the minister that he's come out with a statement saying that he believes in the freedom of the press, and so has UIDAI said that. But I think they need to prove it by action. Now let's take this particular case. First, the FIR. While there are various columns, it as soon as it comes. Tribune and the reporters clearly mentioned, which means that they could have taken action at any time that they wanted to do this. When you put unknown persons, you're also listing all the people that who have supposedly done the wrong. The second point in this matter is that if you look at it, 5 days have passed. The Tribune reporter is easily able to go and pay 500 rupees and book these, get the information that was there. What has UIDAI done in these last 5 days to book the culprits? Why haven't they gone, if it was that easy to do, get information, why haven't they gone and shown purpose on that front? And
they will say that the journalist must fully cooperate with the investigation. We do not know who these individuals are. The journalist
on the first day, this is January 3rd that the report comes out, the journalist is willing, has even named the people. One of them said, look, I actually approached the UIDAI and they didn't bother about it, so I wanted to expose them. So there is enough evidence for them, rather than being
there was a whistleblower.
Yes. Rather than being a babudam kind of attitude and saying that I will file an FIR and being officious about it, here is a public body. Why is their reaction so defensive and aggressive at the same time? Aggressive against the journalists, defensive about their security. If let's not forget, Rajdeep, that 1.1 billion people have Aadhaar cards. You and I have Aadhaar cards. If our information is out there in the public, our telephone numbers, our address, this is a serious breach of security. Now, if UIDAI finds that is there, the first thing they should do is investigate. We are all concerned about it. Rather than go after the journalists, penalize the journalists, they should be out there and saying, look, thank you very much for bringing this out. After all, this journalist is acting in public good. Let us go and investigate it, and whatever we find, we'll put it in public domain.
Narendra Taneja, respond to that. You are being officious about it. This is babudam at its worst. where you go and file an FIR 5 days later, when instead of doing the FIR, when the names are available, a whistleblower has given the names of the various groups that are now for 500 rupees offering Aadhaar data. Go out and arrest them. Why do you need this grand investigation? Defensive in terms of saying that our data cannot be breached, and aggressive now in filing an FIR.
No. You see, there is a certain way to go about such investigation. Should the investigation not really go the normal way, or the procedure be followed just because an individual or 2 or 3 persons happen to be journalists? Are we journalists?
No, it's not about journalists, Mr. Taneja. It's not about journalists.
By the minister.
Even in the last 5 days, I don't know how many others.
No, because
these people may well have paid money to others to expose their identity. My identity may now be more in the public domain because the groups are known who are doing this. Why not act against them first?
Rajdeep, listen, give me 20 seconds. You see the Aadhaar data leak, you know, that's one debate. Freedom of press, that the government of India is not allowing freedom of press, journalists are being targeted. That's a separate debate and a very, very serious one. Very, very serious one. We refuse to take it. Because these are 2 different debates. If you want to discuss only Aadhaar, I'm happy to sit here for 3 hours.
No, I am asking you, why are you not acting against those whom the journalist has exposed? First, act against those whom the journalist has exposed.
And to twist it, but to twist it and call it an attack on freedom of press, that's serious and unacceptable.
Okay. Respond to that, Dr. Ajay Kumar, because that is how the Congress also is now positioning it. The Congress is claiming that the BJP has in a way attacked the freedom of the press, rather than let's focus on the basic issue. Is Aadhaar vulnerable to security concern? The government says no, that no biometric data can be breached. This is only basic demographic details that are in any case available on Google or on Truecaller and basic sites.
Why then put an FIR if that was the case?
Okay, I'll come back to that. Yes, Dr. Ajay Kumar.
So Rajdeep, you know, I'm amazed and not actually amazed. We've got used to the BJP spokesperson coming on national TV and blatantly saying, you know, that it's an FIR which is unnamed accused. It's the absolute most ridiculous. Either we are demented to believe this kind of statement. Look at the body of the content. Says 2 journalists, Anil Kumar and Sunil Kumar, was involved in the conspiracy by indulging in fraud, by indulging in cheating. Is in the body of the FIR. And the minister, the law minister, I mean, how much of untruth can this government with this spokesperson and the minister come on national TV and say this? The body of the FIR says Anil Kumar and Sunil Kumar, journalists with the Tribune, got engaged in a conspiracy with cheating, forgery, etc., etc., etc. Oh, by the way, their name is not in the FIR. And sorry, Raj Chengappa is saying that it needs to be investigated. I mean, we have a minimum amount of IQ to understand what is written on the FIR. And if you're saying you don't put it the name as accused, but in the body you put everything possible. And then you say that, oh, by the way, for press freedom. And where is press freedom? Prime Minister doesn't have a press conference. Any independent journalist gets trolled. Continuously false cases on independent publications. And then this FIR. Oh, by the way, we believe in the freedom of the press. By the way, we arrested 14 journalists in Chhattisgarh. More power to you, to the Bharatiya Janata Party. This kind of stories, Rajdeep, it is a serious issue. That the Bharatiya Janata Party continues to blatantly speak untruths on national TV, including the minister. The body of the FIR is a giveaway, and I'm surprised that Raj also missed that. The FIR clearly says it.
He mentioned very specifically that the journalists are named in the FIR, even though it is supposedly against unknown persons. But the question is, should the investigation be looking into who did it? Who are the people today who are potentially breaching Aadhaar security? Should it focus purely on that, in your view, Raj Chengappa? To that extent, this story is in the public interest.
Absolutely. And, you know, just to answer Mr. Taneja's question of freedom of the press, clearly by filing an FIR of this kind, also the kind of response that UIDAI has, when it sends out in the first response when the information comes to known, and even what it is released today, They are browbeating the journalists. The journalists might have a lot more information. You are then going ahead and trying to prevent information from coming about. Then you castigate the entire process. There is only till now, after 5 days, is there a kind of more accommodative tone. Otherwise, if you see the kind of correspondence, Uday and this thing talks about no breach, this is not possible, and then goes ahead with the FIR. The second point about biometric, the report itself says that they were able to take a printout of a person's Aadhaar card. Tell me, I mean, Ms. Taneja need not, but the Uday needs to say is, how is it possible that I can get a printout of someone else's Aadhaar card and then misuse it? I mean, wasn't biometric information used on that front? So there are a lot of big questions that are there. So apart from the fact that you do not dissuade people, not just journalists, good people trying to understand Aadhaar, because this is something the Supreme Court is debating. You, if they do that, you accept that and do a full-scale investigation to assure the public that there is no breach. We are very happy to accept
That is precisely it. It almost seemed that if any question today Mr. Taneja is raised about Aadhaar in any form, it is seen as anti-national, against the national interest. Aadhaar has become a holy cow. What is wrong if questions are raised? No one is saying that you need to throw the baby out with the bathwater, but there may be weaknesses, loopholes in Aadhaar. The manner in which you are expanding it could lead potentially to security threats. Given all that, why not be transparent? Why not address those questions instead of going ahead and filing this kind of an FIR?
Again, these are two different things. You know, it's being discussed nationally for months now. It's being discussed at the Supreme Court. We all know
They're
that.
not different.
And of course, any discussion, any constructive discussion, any, you know, informed discussion on Aadhaar is welcome. You see, because it's welcome, it's a technology platform, and technology is evolving all the time. So if there are new ideas, most welcome.
You didn't even want a proper discussion on Aadhaar in Parliament, which is why you made it a money bill.
Totally different thing.
You did not want a proper discussion on Aadhaar even in Parliament. That's the reality. When right to information activists ask questions on Aadhaar, they do not get responses, saying that these are matters of national security. The question is, you need to answer questions now on Aadhaar. Whether a journalist asks them, whether any public-spirited citizen. Aadhaar is not a holy cow, sir.
Aadhaar is not a holy cow. Aadhaar is something only to help the country, only to help the poor, and it's a technology-based platform. It's basically we want to use the platform to transfer the economy, you know, the social landscape and all that. That's the whole idea, to empower the poor, to empower the people. That's what Aadhaar is all about. And Aadhaar is nothing new. It was introduced by the Congress Party. We all know that.
Let's also point out that the Aadhaar now is required for bank accounts, for your income tax.
Locked up the entire press. But
Rajdeep.
Yes, Dr. Ajay Kumar.
Rajdeep.
Quickly respond.
You see,
Rajdeep,
this is being done.
One by one, let Ajay Kumar respond to you.
This is being
the same Prime Minister, hey, one side, Mr. Tan.
No, let Ajay Kumar quickly. Yes.
Rajdeep, you know, okay. Rajdeep, it's very interesting. You know, if you pull out Mr. Modi's quotes earlier on Aadhaar, and suddenly you have the devil preaching scriptures on the way they said what Aadhaar was, and suddenly there seemed to be a national transformation. It is going the way they are going about trying to, you know, snoop over people. What is the issue if you continuously expose anything with this government? Why is it the government going after the people? That means no anti-corruption drive will be successful. That means anybody who does exposes the government, you speak on the government on any issue, then you are anti-national. So the whole issue is the BJP's inefficiency or corruption is in national interest according to these people. That means you might as well start making this country, it was North Korea. You want to make everything as a North Korean kind of a censorship, go ahead. That's
Let
what
him
you're
respond finally.
The country is in a great crossroad. No, Mr. Taneja, you must... Yeah, okay.
Let him respond.
Sorry,
Mr. Taneja, very quickly respond to this question.
Please.
Are we saying that Aadhaar is a holy cow? Can I not question potential weaknesses that may exist in Aadhaar? Somebody has sent me a message how even in hospitals in some parts of the country today, emergency patients need an Aadhaar card to be admitted.
No. You see, first of all, the matter is, with the Supreme Court, we all know that, and the deadline has been extended to 30th of March. That's a fact that's being circulated very widely. The question here is that what the Congress party, my friend from the Congress party is trying to do is, to use this to build an absolutely hollow narrative. And this is basically against is the surveillance, it's against the freedom of press and all kind of thing. The question is, unless there is some truth in it, this is not going to sustain. People of India understand what Aadhaar is all about. This particular, as I said, the Tribune story, the law is taking its own course. Investigation will go in accordance with the law. Those who are not responsible, they don't need to worry about it. It's against unknown. So to use and twist this and
but the
say
people
government
are
of India
known.
is attacking the press.
People
like
are known. You
Congress
can
party
act
in
against them. If you
1975.
delay acting against them, there will be more such
You have
potential
named
leaks.
everything else except putting the name, Mr. Taneja. Itna to integrity
People know this government stands
You
for
named
freedom
them
of press.
except putting the
Freedom
name
of
of
press
the
is sacrosanct. We are not like the Congress party which
This
locked up the
government
press in
stands
1975.
this
is
government
not the
stands for
Congress
the
party.
absolute suppression of press.
Congress
What
party
about the
locked
14
up
journalists
journalists
in
in Tihar
Chhattisgarh?
jail.
Please don't give this.
And the spokesperson of that party is sitting here talking of freedom of press.
No press
They
conference,
locked up
trolling journalists.
I think,
okay.
Rajdeep,
Yes, I'm switching off the politicians and to my final word, Raj.
Rajdeep, I'm glad that Mr. Taneja and the government keeps reiterating that they care for the freedom of the press. That has to be demonstrated by action, as I said. This is good journalism, very disappointing response. We know how they targeted. Now they're changing the narrative. That's fine. At the end of the day, we need to know whether what they've acted upon. The journalists should be penalized, and they must find out the real culprits and then rectify it. That's all we're asking for. We are not saying Aadhaar is a bad program. We think it's a very, very good program.
But don't shoot the messenger.
And there are a lot of security issues. If researchers and journalists are coming forward to do it, rectify it. And don't forget, it's in big public interest. 1.1 billion cards have been issued. All our sensitive data, yours and mine, are there on it. We want to know whether this could be compromised or not. I mean, that's the crux in this one.
Let's leave it there, Raj Chengappa. Appreciate your joining us and our politicians. Sorry for switching off the mics in between, but when it's tutu meh, we don't really benefit the viewer. My take, the filing of an FIR against a journalist who exposed potential leaks in the Aadhaar scheme is a classic case of shooting the messenger. Rather than targeting those whose job is to expose and investigate, the government needs to identify the potential flaws and the culprits in an ambitious flagship scheme. Get out of the mood of denial and start being more transparent on Aadhaar's functioning. Aadhaar is not a holy cow, and it is the opacity of the system that needs sunlight, which is what journalists are doing here. We ask the questions. It is for those in power to give the answers. Telling truth to power is not a crime, for God's sake, but simply good journalism. Welcome back. Let's turn to the high drama that took place today in the Tamil Nadu Assembly session, which began on a stormy note after the DMK MLA staged, guess what, a walkout again. They staged a walkout after the governor refused to let their leader Stalin speak as he was about to deliver his maiden address of this session. Meanwhile, there was a new face too. TTV Dinakaran has made his debut in the Assembly. Let's take a look at what's happening in Tamil Nadu.
Honorable member, please, Udkaran,
Tamil Nadu Assembly session has begun on a stormy note. DMK boycotted the governor's speech. High drama unfolded as DMK Stalin termed the EPS-OPS government a minority one and sought a floor test.
Minority ஆட்சியாக இருக்கக்கூடிய இந்த குதிரைவேறு ஆட்சி அதை வேடிக்கை பார்ப்பது மட்டுமல்ல, அதை வரவேற்று பாராட்டி கொண்டிருக்கிறது என்பது உள்ளபடியே வேதனைக்குரிய ஒன்று. அதேபோல இன்றைக்கு தமிழகத்திலே நிதி நிர்வாகம் முடங்கி போயிருக்கிறது.
The DMK claims that the ruling AIA-DMK has lost the number game after disqualifying 18 rebel MLAs who backed TTV Dinakaran. The ruling EPS-OPS combine claims support of 116 MLAs in the House with an effective strength of 216.
Only 133 crore they have allotted. We have been demanding 10,000 crores and nothing matches here. And henceforth, we have boycotted the governor's speech.
The ongoing AIA-DMK factional fight played out outside the assembly as ousted TTV Dinakaran arrived for the first time as the MLA of RK Nagar, the seat held by late Jayalalitha. The TTV faction chose to flex muscles with 18 ousted AIADMK MLAs, giving a rousing welcome to TTV Dinakaran.
TTV Dinakaran did make a difference today, the first day in the assembly for him as the MLA of RK Nagar constituency. He got a rousing welcome. You can see the crowd behind him. All the 18 MLAs who were disqualified also came today. They gave a rousing welcome for him and they said that they will soon be coming inside the assembly.
The governor should not have allowed the government to continue, and moreover, the governor's address itself, it is very clear. There is nothing concrete. And this shows clearly that the government will not withstand. And it is only it's a custom. They have conducted this session. And the governor.
After a fiery start, the session is expected to witness more fireworks over ongoing transport strike and relief work after Cyclone Oki. With Priyamvada in Chennai, Bureau Report, India Today.
Well, we didn't just see chaos in Tamil Nadu today. We saw chaos of another kind in Hyderabad, where a cricket association meeting saw former captain Mohammad Azharuddin being barred from entering the meeting. Azhar then went on an emotional rant, slamming the body for what he said was shocking humiliation. Take a look at what unfolded in Hyderabad's cricket politics today.
मैं 10 साल इंडिया को कैप्टन किया और हैदराबाद से करा।
Mohammad Azharuddin humiliated by Hyderabad Cricket Association. The former India captain was made to wait for an hour before being allowed to attend the special general body meeting of the Hyderabad Cricket Association.
और मुझे इतना एम्बैरेसिंग हुआ, इतना आप मैं सॉरी मैं बोलना नहीं चाहिए, मैं इतना एम्बैरेसिंग हुआ, बाहर मेरे को 1 घंटा रुका के रखे।
Azhar is not happy with the state of affairs in Hyderabad. Also, the state body is reluctant to adopt the Lodha reforms as mandated by the Supreme Court.
इन लोगों को क्या मालूम, ABCD नहीं मालूम क्रिकेट का, बैट बॉल नहीं पकड़ेंगे कभी, परसों विकेट जाके देंगे, बॉल उठाने का तो अपने ऊपर बॉल फेंकेंगे।
Azhar, one of India's most successful captains, wants to clean up the mess, but the association is not letting him do that.
आप लोगों को जो भी प्रॉब्लम रहेगा मैं सॉल्व करूंगा, और लोगों का ये गलत फहमी में है कि मैं नहीं मिलूंगा, अगर मेरे को मिलना नहीं रहे तो मैं आज मीटिंग में नहीं आता था।
The Hyderabad Cricket Association though claims that they've passed a resolution to adopt the recommendations. But if Azhar is to be believed, the cricket affairs in the state which he represented with pride are in tatters. Sports Bureau, India Today.
Okay, let's go to our newsmaker at the moment, Mohammad Azharuddin, joining me on that day when that fracas took place in Hyderabad. Azharuddin, given the backdrop of what's been happening in Hyderabad cricket and to you in particular, were you surprised at the manner in which this entire controversy took place? Why did it occur? Why were you actually stopped from entering a meeting?
Raju, I knew that there's something fishy about it because when they had the policemen at the gate, I knew that there's something fishy about it, but I went with everything legal. I had got the identity card because now they are saying that since they are saying that the secretary is been suspended, so I mean the secretary had issued me the card because he gave a notification on 29th, 30th that please send your passport so that we can give you the card. So I sent the passport photographs and everything, and then he made the card on the 3rd and gave it to me. How am I going to know that these people are going to suspend the secretary on the 5th? And even if they have suspended it, then they should have told me that he's been suspended, then he will give you a fresh card. They have not given me. I think they are playing very dirty. These people have nothing to do with cricket. They just want to sit there and just enjoy the association.
But the truth, Azharuddin, is that last year you were also denied permission to contest elections for Hyderabad Cricket Association president. At that stage, it was said that you had not been cleared from alleged match-fixing charges. So there is a history to what is happening.
Rajbhai, I have won the case. I gave you an interview, if you remember, when the case was won in the year 2012, and then these people had written to the board on the 10th of January asking whether I can fight for election or not. They got a directive from the board that since the High Court order is final, it is attained finality, and then Azharuddin can fight election. They have concealed that letter. They didn't show that email. I have the letter with me, and this thing, first of all, they are not following any rules and regulation, and they have denied my fundamental right to fight the election. Winning and losing is secondary. And these are people that should get off from there actually.
But they are trying to say that you are a persona non grata. They maintain that the BCCI has not fully embraced Azharuddin. Azharuddin cannot enter cricket administration.
No, I mean I can show you the email. The board has nothing to do with this. But the board has clearly written in the email saying that since the board is the order is attained finality and there is no way we can stop Azharuddin from holding any ICC position in ICC or BCCI. It is clear. It is very clear.
Are you confident that the cricket community will support you in Hyderabad, that you actually have that kind of support for you to make a bid, serious bid to get into cricket administration like Ganguly has got into cricket administration in Bengal?
Definitely, everybody is supporting me. I thank all the members who really supported me. I thank Mr. Shivbhai also who really supported me all the way, and then Mr. Hanmant Rao also really supported, and all the members were very supportive. I thank them for the support, because I think this should not happen, because I'm a person who has done so much for the country, who has done so much for the game of Hyderabad, and if people talk like the people who don't even know ABCD of cricket and they are running the association and then they are telling me how to do it.
Okay, let me leave it there. Mohammad Azharuddin, I appreciate your joining us, my newsmaker, this evening. When we return, I'll turn... Welcome back. It's peak winter in North India, and whenever that happens, the national capital turns into a graveyard at times for the homeless. Left to fend for themselves, already at least 44 people have died in the savage winter and ice-cold conditions. To make it worse, there is official apathy and the usual game of passing the buck. It's our Get Real India story today.
Delhi is shivering. Bone-chilling temperature and blinding fog are taking their toll. The worst hit have been the homeless. With very little or no shield from the cold, countless destitutes are at the mercy of Delhi's punishing weather.
सब ठंड हो रही है बहुत ज़्यादा. हम लोग के जो पर कपड़े नहीं उतना है. हम लोग सुबह उठते हैं ठंड लगता है ज़्यादा इसलिए आग जला के बैठ जाते हैं हम लोग.
With ice-cold wind from the hills sweeping the state, at least 44 homeless have breathed their last in just 6 days.
साल स्वेटर जैकेट पहन रखे हैं और उससे भी काम नहीं चल रहा है तो आग जला रखे हैं.
Each night brings its savage torture for these people camping by the side of wide roads of the capital who are left to fend for themselves. Those entrusted with the task of saving them keep mum.
तो ये तो अब देखना होगा कि सरकार की प्राथमिकता क्या है. राज्यसभा की टिकटों की सौदेबाजी है या अंडमान की छुट्टियां हैं या सड़क पे सोते हुए लोग हैं. 44 लोग इस देश की राजधानी में जो मरे वो इस देश के नागरिक थे.
The Aam Aadmi Party government's pledge of night shelters, blanket distribution remain just on paper. And the Delhi Chief Minister is busy passing the buck. The opposition BJP, which runs the civic bodies of the state, is no less apathetic.
बेघरों की कंपकपाते ठंड से मौत, ये कितना बड़ा सवाल खड़ा करती है अरविंद केजरीवाल जी के सरकार पे.
While the Union Home Ministry report quotes the official death figures at 44, many more deaths may have gone unreported. So is Delhi Bhagwan Bharose this winter.
कहीं ना कहीं ये सवालिया निशान है कि अगर डेथ हो रही हैं, मौतें हो रही हैं, तो सरकार इसका पोस्टमार्टम करवा के इसकी जांच कराए ठीक से.
Who will provide warmth to Delhi? Who will ensure that the capital doesn't turn into a graveyard of the homeless this winter? Bureau Report, India Today.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you will love to.